Welcome everyone to The Perfect Storm. This is something that Todd and I have been working on for a while, and we're really excited about it. We started this about 6 or 7 months ago when we saw some pretty phenomenal results in RTB and retargeting, and we started applying them to all of our clients. And then Todd and I got together and said, we need to make something real out of this, because the tools and the resources that are out there, they're great for the general large company who wants to get a PhD in this stuff, but they're not really great for somebody who wants to jump on and just get in there and do it. And so, I mean, for instance, when I first jumped in, it took me about 3 days to get my first project in. And that's about 2-3 days too long. You know what I mean? And so Todd and I got together and we said, you know what, we can build a better mousetrap. And so we feel like we did. And so we're going to talk to you guys about a bunch of cool things that you can use even outside of our program. You're going to be able to walk away today with just tons of great information that you can just immediately use. We also have some pretty cool gifts today too. But this is what we're going to learn today. We're going to go over a quick retargeting overview. We know that some people got into the intro videos a little bit late. So for those of you who watch the intro videos, we're not going to cover those directly, but we will cover certain parts of those to make sure we're all on the same basis, the same foundation as we move through here. So if you've already seen this before, we won't spend a lot of time on it, but we do need to cover a couple of things like the retargeting overview, the RTB overview, just so we can make sure we're all talking the same language here. But we're going to dive deeper into some of the things we talked about before, like the revolving door strategy. We're going to talk to you specifically. We're going to tell you exactly what that is today. We're going to talk about why we should sell these things. We're going to talk about what is this traffic storm? Like, why do we call it the traffic storm? How we can sell these things to our existing and our future clients. And we're going to talk about a cool retargeting foot in the door strategy. And then we're going to give you a full demo of the system. And we're going to talk about some case studies that we've been working on. We're going to talk about a cool landing page that we're going to give you guys, and we're going to give you a free gift right here. I think we actually have 4 free gifts we're going to give you. We only have like a couple of them listed here. And then we're going to do another software demo, show you more stuff. We're going to talk about retargeting using funnels, which is a hot topic right now to get people back into your funnel again. And then retargeting using e-commerce with some what we call dynamic ads that you guys have all seen out there. Then we're going to give you another quick demo here of the training system. And then we're going to give you the full-blown URL targeting research piece. So we're going to go over the exactly how to do the research that we showed you in video number 2, I believe, when we talked about how to get others to help you pay for your marketing, which is totally sick. We're going to talk about that again. And then we have another free gift, and then we'll take any questions and answers at that point. But before we get started here, we want to make sure that you understand there's some surprises inside, and there's some free stuff that we're going to give you. We prepared these things. If you guys have had a chance to have that cheat sheet, you know the quality and the amount of stuff that we have available for you. We're going to make that link available if you didn't get that cheat sheet. So we'll make sure you get that link so you can download it now. But just to get started, the things that we're going to talk today about, you have not seen before, guaranteed. The strategies, the tactics, all the different things that we're going to talk about today. You probably will have seen some of the things that are just standard RTB and retargeting. But as far as how we sell it, we've been working with some of the brightest minds in RTB, people who have sold, millions of dollars worth of this stuff. I mean, literally millions. And we picked their brain and we said, how do you sell this stuff? And they basically just unloaded on us. And we were able to take that information, and we're going to talk about that today to help you sell it as well. Now, the systems that we've built and the processes that we built have never been less expensive, easier to set up, or easier to sell. And you'll see that as we go through this today. So our intention today is we're going to show you how to create a storm in your business using RTB and retargeting. So Todd, why don't you take us through what is retargeting first, and kind of give us a little foundation to start from.
Okay, yeah, sure. So like Chris mentioned, some of this is going to be review if you've watched some of the other videos. But on retargeting, we got this cool little drawing up here. So down here is where someone comes and visits your website, right? We've all been there. Then they leave your website for whatever reason, and they go visit other websites around the web, and they see your ad to remind them to come back. They click on that, and then hopefully they come back into your funnel. Here are some examples, images here that you probably have seen, maybe not have seen, but we all get the idea of what an actual image is. When we're talking about display advertising, that's a word that people sometimes say, RTB, real-time bidding. Those are all basically synonyms for the same thing, but it's really just banner advertisement. Trying to make sure I can control your screen here. Okay. But why retargeting is another reason, right? We've talked to a lot of marketers, and some people have heard of it. There's other training systems out there, but there's why, right? So one of the things we like to talk to business owners about, your website is like an online store, right? People come, people go, people come, people go. But retargeting helps to bring those people back, just like a lot of other marketing. But retargeting for your website is really important. Why? Because even on a good converting website, 98% of those people are going to leave without taking the action that you want. If it's an e-commerce store, they're not buying. If it's just a local business, maybe they're not calling, maybe they're not filling out a form. Great converting websites probably convert at 5%, right? So somewhere between 98 and 95% of people are actually leaving. And that's why businesses need that. And that's why Chris and I are so passionate about this, is because we want to develop a tool that we as marketers can bring to business owners and really help them stop throwing away their money on all the other marketing. So retargeting really isn't just a good idea. It's actually a great idea, and it's actually a requirement. When I first got into it and started realizing what it was, I went immediately back to all my clients that I was not doing it and upsold them on retargeting, right? Because it's just absolutely critical. And what retargeting actually does, it allows you to reclaim all of your other marketing, whether you're doing pay-per-click, Facebook, RTB, SEO, if you're doing TV, radio, billboards, handing out business cards, anything that drives any one of your prospects to your website, it allows you to bring those people back. All those fish that might have got away, it gives you a chance to bring them back. So Chris and I are huge proponents of all this other marketing, right? But some businesses have a small budget, so you gotta focus them. Ones with bigger budgets, they should be already doing a lot of these things. You might be doing them for them. But if you're not doing retargeting, if you send a bunch of traffic, let's just say with pay-per-click, and you're not retargeting them, that's a lot of wasted clicks, right? And some of those could be $30, $40, $50, right? So you don't want to be doing that to our businesses. We want to help bring back those visitors and really get some of that 98% that left, get them to convert. And there was a study that was shown, because a lot of people say, oh, retargeting is so creepy. Actually, 37% of people in the study said they actually appreciate those ads because it reminds them to go back, right? We're all very, very busy, right? We're surfing the web like this woman here with her child with a pen in his mouth, right? This is how we do work, right? You got multitasking. I don't know about you, but I have like 15 or 20 tabs open in my browser all the time, right? Oh, I got to look at this, and then I go over and do something else. So retargeting ads remind me to go back and look at that. And, because people just get distracted. We have very busy lives. For the business owner, it actually makes them look huge, right? I have talked to some marketers like, oh yeah, retargeting, right? It seems like old hat. But you go talk to business owners about it, most of them don't even know it exists. Right? They know what happens to them, but they certainly don't know that they can do that, right? And it makes them look big. If their ad is sitting next to a Best Buy or a Target or somebody that's in their local area that's on TV, right? And then their ad shows up next to those people, it makes them look really big. So when their ideal prospect sees them, then their ideal prospect, who's even further away from marketing than the business owner, they're like, oh my gosh, I have to go see this dentist or this pest control or this chiropractor, because obviously if they're spending that much money, they must be one of the best, right? We all look at that as people who spend a lot of money on marketing must be good, right? If it's on the internet, it must be great. And the awesome thing about it is it's about 10% of the cost of traditional other forms of media. I've talked to a lot of business owners myself that I've sold on retargeting, and they might be doing, say, TV or radio or billboards. Those things can get pretty expensive. So with retargeting, we want to help them build that. You never necessarily want to take away money from other people, right? From other businesses and other marketing, but this will show them how they can enhance that. And Chris is going to go through, again, the revolving door strategy to help them really understand and really glue that into their mind of why they need it. So as marketers, if we know this, that we should be doing this, but when I talk to marketers, most people are not doing that. So why are we not using this? So some of the reasons that Chris and I have heard is it's difficult, right? All these different platforms have different buttons you got to push, different pixels you got to drop, different things. Chris and I are both software engineers, right? That's why we built this platform. We said, hey, we can help the more salesy side of the marketing. You have a couple camps in the marketing arena, right? You got people who love sales, and you have a couple people who really love technology. And Chris and I are a lot more on the technology side. So we want to make it not difficult. We want to make it easy to fulfill, so you get back out there and go back to selling. Multiple platforms, right? You know, if you got to be on Facebook, and you got to be in Google, and you got to be on this web, you know, again, lots of different buttons to push. Some of those platforms are geared towards business owners. So the cost for CPM, which is cost per milli, which is what retargeting and RTB is based on, which is on the impression. On some of the other platforms that are out there in the market, they're geared towards business owners, so they are higher priced, right? And you'll see that throughout our presentation, we are geared towards helping other marketers. Therefore, we have that kind of this wholesale approach to the pricing. So there's plenty of meat on the bone. So the business owner is not paying $15 or $20 CPM, which by the way is not unheard of. What I've heard some business owners are being charged, right? So we want to get that price way down, because it's all about that cost for that first click. Some of them have poor reporting, right? It's hard to show value, and we'll go through the RTB side of branding and awareness and other things like that. So business owners might just cancel, right? If you don't do a good job reporting of what you're doing for somebody, no matter what marketing strategy you're doing, you have a good chance that they might cancel. And then the plane does not train how to sell it, how to fulfill it, and what kind of buttons to push. So those are just some of the reasons that when Chris and I set out to build this platform, we wanted to really take on that that challenge.
All right, thanks, Todd. So how many of you guys, when you were surfing around, were able to see an ad that looked like this, The Perfect Storm, whether it was for video 1, 2, or 3? Did you guys get to see that at all? When I was surfing around last night, I actually got retargeted to myself. It was pretty cool. So I thought I'd throw this up there. And so the question that Todd and I were talking about was, was this helpful? Did it help remind you that there was going to be a webinar today, and that it was something that you had already expressed interest in? So this is basically what we call eating your own dog food, which is use what you got, And so we use this specifically so we could remind you guys that there was a webinar that was happening today, so that you jump on and you could get all this free stuff and you can learn about this for your own businesses. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting that we'd throw that in there. But we talked a little bit before about Ryan Deiss and his take on what he calls the pixel land rush. And what he's doing right now is he's been doing this for a long time, actually. He's on the cutting edge of retargeting and does some pretty sophisticated stuff. But basically what he's doing, he's buying traffic just to pixel them. And so he's paying attention to a new metric that he's kind of branded CPP, which is cost per pixel, because he knows that at any moment he can turn that pixel on and show people ads whenever he wants to. And it's a super important thing to keep an eye on Ryan Deiss, because he's always on the cutting edge, and this guy is sharp. So we keep an eye on him, and we're actually we were in his mastermind group for a long time, and we got to talk with him a lot and stuff like that. Super cool guy. So basically, retargeting is a powerhouse. I mean, what do we need to say? It's super, super important. And so that brings us to the revolving door strategy. This is the first gift that we want to give you guys today, which is this story that we use when we sell retargeting. And it's been very successful. Now, we were talking with a guy, his name is Michael, and he's one of the most brilliant sales guys that we've met in this area. And as we were talking with Michael, he's like, let me tell you a little story that I figured out. And so he went on to tell us the story that we're going to tell you in just 1 minute. And we were kind of blown away because it is emotionally striking. It pulls at your heartstrings in a way that is just incredibly powerful, because what it does is it simply illustrates with another example how things are just not happening on the web that they should be, and it becomes real drastic. So let me just tell you the story so that you can get this, and then we'll refer to this throughout the rest of this presentation. But here's how the story goes. You're talking with an online owner, or maybe even a store owner, and you basically say, okay, I want you to picture this. You've built up your store, whether it's online or it's your brick and mortar store, and you've put everything on the shelves. You have all your products, you have all your staff trained, you've got your register set up, everything's ready to go. It's pristine, the floor is swept, everything is ready to go. And you open your doors and you start seeing people walk by your store, and then all of a sudden they start coming in and you get all excited. Here's my first customers coming in for today. So they come in, and then all of a sudden they look around for about 10 or 15 seconds, and then they turn around and they leave. And some of them, when they come in, they'll come in and they'll walk around for a minute. They turn right around and they just walk right out. And this happens over and over again. You're standing behind the counter and you're watching this behavior of not just 1 or 2 or 3 people walking in and not buying anything, but like most of them. Almost nobody buys anything. They just walk in, they look around a little bit, and then they walk right back out again. So as a store owner, what would you do if you saw 100 people in 1 hour come in and do this? Would you just stand behind your counter and scratch your head and then let them talk for a minute? And then they're going to say something like, well, no, of course I would go to the door and I would say, hey, let me show you around. Or I would run after them and put my arm around them and say, hey, come on back in. Let me show you a couple things that you might be interested in, right? Now, this is a natural reaction as a store owner to be able to bring people in and to nurture them into the sales process. But the problem is that this is exactly what's happening online with them every day. 98% of the people are turning right around and leaving your website every day. And when was it that we woke up and we decided that's okay if people just come in and leave, and we never try to reach out to them ever? When is that okay? Why is it okay for us to go out and spend sometimes tens of thousands of dollars a month on pay-per-click and then never follow up with them? It's just poor salesmanship when you think about it. And so your website is basically a revolving door. People come in, people go out, and then when they go out, they're gone. And so basically we have a solution for this, and it's neither expensive nor hard to set up. It typically costs about 10% of what you're paying in your marketing right now, and it overlies everything. And so you can go into the pitch at that point of how great retargeting is. Now, isn't that a powerful story to be able to picture people walking in the store, looking around for a minute, and just walking straight out? And we don't know why they walked out. Maybe they got a phone call that says, I need you at home quickly. Or, Johnny fell and cracked his head on the table. Or did you pick up dinner yet? All these everyday life things that people naturally get distracted on. It doesn't mean they're not interested. It means they're distracted, right? So that is the revolving door strategy. And so you guys can embellish that. You can kind of make it your own. You can use that concept and principle to go out there and be able to sell these to your existing clients and to future clients. And so the next question is why sell retargeting? And obviously on this slide, it's because there's great profit margins. So let me show you a couple of numbers here, and everybody's going to be a little bit different. But for instance, you went in there and you said, look, we're going to start up retargeting for you and bring these customers back, because you don't want your website to be this revolving door where people just leave. And so what we're going to do is it's going to cost $300, and your cost is actually going to be somewhere between $25 and $50 for the first month, because they're not going to have very many visitors in the first month, but it may creep up to about $100 after a few months when there's enough people out there to retarget. So say for instance, it costs you $100 and you're charging them $3. That means you're making $200 minimum off this account for something that you really don't even have to lift a finger for. It's like a light bulb. You turn it on. Once you get the banners in there, you just kind of turn it on and let it run. And so you're making basically a free $200 every single month. And so these profits are pretty cool because they're like Google type profits. The profit margins on here are spectacular. And you're providing such a great service, so you don't have to feel guilty about taking money and feeling like, oh, I'm not really doing as good of a service as I think we probably should for this money kind of thing. You can go in with a full confidence knowing that by providing retargeting, you're bringing back 26% more people than they would have had, and it increases the bottom line day one. So anyway, that's one great reason to sell retargeting, because the profits in our own agencies, and this is how we can kind of begin to create a storm in our own agencies and add a whole nother layer of revenue that we hadn't realized before. So Todd, can you take a minute and talk about real-time bidding and kind of build a foundation for this so we can talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So real-time bidding, and if you guys watch some of the videos, we kind of walked through how the process actually works. We're not going to go through the detailed nuances in this training here, in this webinar. But really what real-time bidding is, first of all, it is the same platform that retargeting is built on. In the industry, people talk about them as two separate things, but it is programmatic display, real-time bidding. Those are the same things. But really, RTB, when people use the word RTB or real-time bidding, they're really talking about cold traffic, right? Getting out there to the masses, getting your awareness out and getting your branding out. And what they're really talking about is the top of the funnel, right? Because once they get in your funnel, that's where retargeting takes place. So at the top, we need to do all sorts of different marketing strategies, which you're probably already doing: PPC, Facebook, TV, radio, direct mail. Those are all top of the funnel, right? And then once someone has some interest, then we're driving them back. More education, the know, like, trust, try, buy. You probably have heard that before. So people got to know you before they're going to trust or buy from you. So real-time bidding for cold traffic gives us another opportunity to get that cheapest first click, right? Because it's all about the retargeting. Let's be honest with ourselves. If only 2 to 5% people are converting on the first time, that means majority of people have to come back to convert, right? So that's where the retargeting is. But real-time bidding gives us that chance to get people there for very inexpensive. So what are some of the reasons for why to use retargeting? So we kind of mentioned this one along the way. It's less expensive than other forms of paid search. Not always, right? These aren't global statements, but PPC can get very expensive for certain niches and in certain areas, right? If you're getting sub-dollar clicks, PPC is a great avenue, right? But if you're paying $25 or $30 or $50 clicks, you might need another form, right? There's not many local businesses that can afford $50 clicks when their competitors go and click on their ad 3 times during the day, right? It happens a lot. I've talked to a lot of people that their budgets are being blown real fast and they're not getting any conversions. Number 2 here, it allows for a visual branding and awareness. So again, back to the visual side. Why is TV so compelling? Because it's visual, right? And that's what RTB gives you. It gives you a chance to put different colors, logos, and messages out in front of people, whether they are aware of them or not. Right? As humans, we are constantly bombarded with a lot of subconscious programming. Actually, most of our life is subconscious programming. So when you start showing logos, I play the game Logo with my kids, and I can smoke them in that thing. Right? Because I've been around longer. I've seen more commercials. I've seen more things. As soon as they show a logo, I know that brand, right? They just have to sometimes describe the logo, the colors, and we can know the exact company and sometimes even tell their tagline and about them. So very, very powerful. And then sometimes that's just not quantifiable, right? You don't see that on a report, right? But it's definitely there. Number 3 is you can target based on interests, right? So if you put we'll just talk about you or your client's brand in front of people based on certain interests, they're more likely to convert. Just like, let's use PPC as an example. If somebody was searching for a term, right, they're more likely to want to do something, right, because they're actually searching for something. Therefore, if you put your company's brand based on the interest, if someone is interested in that, it at least gets them down that path of coming down. Number 4 here is limit to a specific geolocation. When real-time bidding first started, it was very difficult to get down, and business owners couldn't really see it. They're like, I don't want to show my brand to everywhere. I only want to be within 10 miles radius of my location, You can do that all the way down to the zip code level, right? Put a nice little geofence around a local business, but you can go all the way out to the state level, city level, country, right? You can do a lot of different tactics at the geolocation level.
Hey, Todd, I think it's worth mentioning as well that, geolocation isn't limited just to the United States. This is all over the world. So no matter what country, even the states and the cities within those other countries, you can geolocate as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stats out there and showing where most of the display, and as everybody in the world could probably guess, the U.S. is the largest, right? Because we're a very consuming country. So there are definitely a lot more impressions here. But as you go into other countries, like Chris mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities in, maybe even at cheaper pricing than even in the United States, because as competition goes up, supply and demand starts to take effect. And the last one here is you can target based on the sites that they visit. So this is really important. If you know where your clients go to, typically like where your prospects clients hang out, and you start putting your brands on those and you start bidding on those sites, again, putting it in front of people that are in that same interest category. So you really have the shotgun approach, which is, hey, geolocation, let's show it to everybody. And then the more rifle approach, I think these are my ideal people, right? This is where they hang out. This is what they like to do. Let's go ahead and target those type of people.
All right. So basically, here comes the storm for your business, because what we're going to do is we're going to show you in Traffic Oxygen how to super easily target your audience, to be able to create a massive outreach once you target that audience, and then be able to bring them back like a cyclone, spin them right back to the website using retargeting. And Todd is going to show us a demo in just a second about this perfect storm and how you can have waves of traffic coming in, but not just waves of traffic coming in, but coming back over and over and over again with this, with the retargeting. And the way that we do this is we provide you guys with some training, some software, and some great tools to be able to create this perfect storm in your business so that you don't have to spend a lot of time figuring this stuff out. We lead you along step by step, and we've made these tools pretty darn simple. I mean, you're going to see when you get in there, like we have this video that we've created in the training section that's how to create a retargeting group in 3 minutes or less. And a lot of that 3 minutes is us just yapping about it. I mean, you can literally do it in like less than a minute. And so we've really simplified a lot of things and simplified the dials and the switches and levers that have to happen in the back end. We just take care of all that for you. So with all this new technology, you can throw away your tired old sales presentations and you can liven them up with something that's new, that's cutting edge, something that business owners haven't really seen or heard of before, or they've kind of seen it, but they didn't know that it was available for them to be able to use on their own websites and their own landing pages. And especially, they don't understand how powerful it can be to bring their customers back again. So it's something that you can use to kind of liven up your presentations and to be able to use good foot in the door strategies. In fact, let's talk for a minute about a sticky foot in the door strategy that you guys can use. And this is something that we've used a lot. A lot of our salespeople have been using it very successfully. And so maybe what we can do is we can talk about this retargeting strategy for a foot in the door. So basically, the way that this works is you go and you approach, this is mainly used for new clients, people who don't really know you very well, maybe cold call type clients, or you walk in, people who you don't have a relationship with. And the foot in the door strategies are basically, it's basically a strategy that is based around if you can get an agreement for something simple, that later on they'll tend to agree with more and more things as time goes on. And so as you approach the store owner, you can give them the revolving door story that we just talked about, how everybody's leaving their website and why don't you go after them, kind of a thing. You can say, you know what, I'm going to make this really easy for you today. Because, I know that you're probably a little skeptical and you're like, who is this guy? That kind of thing. But how about if we just start with this? How about if you let me build your list, no cost? I'm just going to build it for you. And then once it's built, let's sit down and talk about it and see how this might be able to help your business. Fair enough? And who's going to say no to a free retargeting list to be able to build that, right? So the only thing you have to do is spend a minute, put their company in, and give them a piece of retargeting code that they have their webmaster put on their website. Once that's done, you revisit them in a month or so when they have, say, 2,000 visitors on the retargeting list, and you can basically go back to them and say, hey, we have 2,000 people we can show your banners to right now within a 5-mile radius of your business. How about if we, or whatever, people who visited your website, and how about if we go out there and bring them back again? What do you say? You can tell them the revolving door strategy again, kind of review that with them and say, we're ready to go. You ready? Boom, you get your first $300. And then that gets your foot in the door to upsell them other services, because now they're trusting you with something that worked extremely well, something that added a ton of value to their business. Now they start seeing you as an expert in the field who has fundamentally helped their business in a way that they just never thought that was possible. You're one that brings them new cutting edge technologies. That's how they see you at this point. So this foot in the door strategy is awesome. And it's basically something that we want to give you as another free gift, which is when you jump into the Traffic Oxygen, you're going to get free retargeting lists. That means that you can build as many retargeting lists at no cost. You just get in there and you do it and you start building up these lists. The only costs that come in is when you start wanting to show ads, because we have to pay the ad networks, right? So you just kind of get that going. But it costs nothing to build these and to be able to present these back to the customers and say, hey, now we have like 2,000 or 3,000 people. Let's go get them back. What do you say? Kind of thing. And what that does, it allows you to go out there and sell like a boss. You can go out there and just close deals left and right using these types of strategies. And the training will actually take you through a lot of these strategies. It'll take you through, there's a ton of training that's focused around the sales aspect of all this stuff that you guys are going to want to check out. So why don't we do this real quick? Hey, Todd, how about if we have a demo of the software? Let's see if we can get this.
Sounds good.
Okay, so on this one right here, let me see here. Let's get set up right here. Which one do you want to, like, which demo do you want to get first? Do you want to let's do the adding a client one. You want to do that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right. All right, excellent. That's a great overview, Todd. And so that's basically how you do the entire process there for RTB. We're going to go over a couple other things later. But I think maybe what we should do right now, let me start up the presentation again here real quick in full screen mode so we can see this a little bit better. But I'm thinking maybe what we should do is let's talk about some case studies, because I know that that's something that we promised you guys through the videos and stuff like that as you're getting ready for this. And this is really one of the most important things to understand about this process is the case studies, what's actually happening in the real world kind of a thing. And so we have a couple of these ready to go. We're going to talk about more. We don't have enough time to talk about too many of them on this presentation, but we'll talk about more as time goes on. We've got a bunch. And so what we wanted to do is let's just choose a meat and potatoes type company, a dentist. I mean, they're everywhere. This is a good example of a local business and how we can affect their bottom line. So what we did is we went out and we looked at their pay-per-click costs, which is somewhere between $9.75. You can see it's Phoenix Dentist and Dentist in Phoenix. You see that over here on the left side here. And so it's somewhere between basically 10 and 12 bucks, right? Just in general. And so that is our goal, is to get clicks that are less than 10 to 12 bucks. And so these are the actual results when we finished. So basically, over a period of time, we had 47,000 people that we showed impressions to, and 4,000 people that we retargeted. And so we had 149 clicks. You can see right here, 149 clicks here, and 35 people were retargeted, or they participated in the retargeting. And so the average click-through rate was 3.1%, and the cost per click is $1. So remember, let's focus on this for a second. You remember that the cost per click on the PPC was between $10 and $12, and our cost per click was $1. Well, $1.44, and then $1 to get them back. And so we had 33 post-click conversions, which means that 33 people came back after they saw the ad, and they converted, whether it was a form or whatever that was for this client. And post-view conversions, which was 1 and 2. And so basically, you can see that there was actions that were taken. People are clicking. There's interest. But you have to make sure that you understand that the fact that we're doing this, not all of the benefits come through the clicks. That there's an inherent value that we cannot measure, which is people who walk in, people who pick up the phone, people who take actions in other ways. And so there's more activity that happened on this than we can measure. But the things that we can measure, look at this. A 665% savings over pay-per-click based on how much that would have been spent on AdWords if they were to have this many clicks, and on almost 1,000% savings on the retargeting for that same one. So if there's any doubt in your mind that this can beat pay-per-click, I'm telling you, there's not very many instances that we've seen that it doesn't beat pay-per-click as far as cost per click. So here's another case study right here. Again, another dentist, and this is in a completely different area. This one was in Dallas, Texas. And you can see this one right here, that there was a cost of between 16 and 19 bucks on this one, right? So basically on this one right here, the pay-per-click was a little bit even higher than the last one. Now this one right here, we had 82,000 people. It's a bigger city. Our reach was a little bit bigger as far as the city that we were targeting on this one. And so we had a little bit more clicks. But again, you can see that the cost per click right here is $2, $3 if we round it up. This one is 2. So not 16 to 19, we're talking 2 to 3. Talk about improving their bottom line and their ROI, right? And so you can see that this one right here is a 500% savings and an 800% savings, respectively. So these are the types of things that we've been seeing. And maybe it's just we can take a pause and just take a quick testimonial right here. Rick is a guy that we've been working with for some time. Rick and I have been working together for a little while, and he runs a very successful SEO company called Backspace Group, and does some incredible work out there. Works with big clients, and we work with him on some of his bigger clients. But basically, this is what he had to say. We tripled the budget within 3 months. based on the results. What else is there to say? I mean, it's pretty cool that he feels like this product is selling itself. I mean, he's bringing new jobs in, it seems like, every week, because it's just really easy to sell when you see successes. So you have to have a couple of successes under your belt. Well, just really one, to see like, wow, this stuff really works. And when you get the one, it's super easy to sell it after that, because you can always refer to what you were able to do for your last client. So maybe what we can do is take a break here and show you a landing page demo, because one of the more difficult things to do is to gauge where to send the traffic once they click on an ad. Now, sometimes it's not entirely appropriate to send it to their website. For instance, a dentist, if you're to send people to their dentist website, typically there's a lot of pages on a dentist website, and people can get lost in all of the, oh, what is Invisalign and how much do crowns cost, and all that stuff. Sometimes it's more appropriate to send it to a landing page where you say, call us or leave or fill out this form. That's it. You have a picture of the dentist, it looks pretty, that kind of thing. But really the call to action is very clear, and it keeps them very focused on converting to an action and reaching out. So maybe what we can do is, let me jump over and do a presentation, like a little demo on the landing page. And so you can kind of see some tools that we've kind of put together for you, so that you can build these like super easy. All right. So let me jump back over to my presentation here real quick. And I hope that was helpful. Let me start this up again here in full screen. All right. And we're coming up to another gift that we wanted to give you today. And so basically, for this one right here, we wanted to make sure that you guys had this cheat sheet because we spent a lot of time putting this together. In this cheat sheet, maybe what I can do is take a second and show you what it looks like while you're downloading it. So basically, it's j.mp. Let's go ahead and copy this and put it in here so you guys can just click on it. I'm going to put this in the messages section and send it to everybody. So there is the link in there if you look in your chat window. And as you're downloading that, maybe what I can do is just take a second and go over what this cheat sheet is. And it's going to help you with both targeting your customers to understand this better. But if you look at my screen here, this is Adobe. And basically on this cheat sheet, you're going to see an explanation of what's retargeting. You can recognize this graphic that we kind of created right here, how it works, ways to retarget. You guys might not have thought of some of these different ways that you can retarget. It's very there's some really clever things that you can do out there to be super, super successful in building campaigns. What a buying funnel looks like, because this is important to explain to your customer that that it's important to use retargeting to push them through the buying process down to the purchase, which is at the bottom of the funnel. And also real-time bidding. Here's an overview of kind of a graphical overview of the real-time bidding, and also the digital advertising process. So if you ever wondered, like, the big picture, how this works, you can kind of read through this right here and see what a demand side platform, how that works versus a supply side platform, and how the RTB goes between them. And basically this green guy right here is you. I'll let you read through this. But then we also have some stuff on like where do your ads show up and common acronyms and terms, as well as like a pretty comprehensive glossary. I mean, I think we have like 9 pages of terms in case you're going through training or we're talking about something and we talk about, say, a pixel or optimization, and you can't remember exactly if a pixel is a cookie or a cookie is a pixel or what the difference is. You can basically jump right in here and see these explanations from the glossary. So anyway, we're just giving this out to you guys for free because we love you. And we know that it can be helpful as you kind of traverse maybe something that's new and different that you haven't really explored much before. So jump on there and grab this cheat sheet that we're giving away to you guys. And let's jump back over here. And what do we have next? Oh, another demo. Hey, Todd, you want to jump over and show us? Let's see. What are we going to show this time? Are we going to show the
Show the retargeting one real quick. Kind of showed that a little bit before, but a lot of people didn't see it, they're saying, so I want to show that.
All right, so let's do a demo on the retargeting. All right, so let's spend like 5 minutes or so and go over that. Okay. All right. Thanks, Todd, for that quick demo. But you can see the first part of that, how easy it is to be able to set up a retargeting group. It literally takes like a minute or so to be able to do that. All right, so let's jump back into the presentation. There's a couple more things. We're getting low on time right here, so we're going to speed this along a little bit. We have some stuff that we want to definitely show you, some stuff that I know that a lot of people have been asking for and waiting for. So let's jump in here and get started with that here real quick. So let's see here. Hey Todd, how about if we skip the retargeting funnels and let's jump right over to, maybe what we can do is just talk just for a minute about retargeting funnels. We were going to talk a little bit more, but basically the purpose behind funnels and retargeting is like when we're in our sales funnels, it's important to bring people that we put at the top of our funnel to bring them back to the right place in the funnel. And we built some special software inside of Traffic Oxygen that you guys are going to have available to you in a super short period of time, where with just a few clicks, you can build out an entire funnel worth of retargeting and implement that super easy with one retargeting pixel across the entire funnel. So we take care of all the heavy lifting and stuff on our side. And as you can see right here from SiriusDecisions, they estimated that 67% of the buying cycle is conducted online, which means it's out of our control. People just do what they do, regardless of any sales involvement at all. And we want to talk a little bit about retargeting and shopping cart abandonment as well. Todd, you want to talk about this just for a second?
Yeah. So we'll briefly go through here because I know we're getting low on time. But shopping cart abandonment. There's a lot of people out there that are pushing e-commerce right now. A lot of products coming out about it. So perfect timing for strategies for retargeting those shopping cart abandonment. I have a lot of e-commerce clients myself, and one of their biggest complaints is I see a lot of people in my cart. They added the things to cart, but then they left. Right. So within our system, here real quick, you're gonna be able to start doing some dynamic ads. So we're finishing off the last development on this, but we've all seen what dynamic ads are. Zappos is a perfect example. Amazon is another one, where they show you the product that you were just looking at. And they don't show you sometimes right away, right? Sometimes they can delay that for an hour or 2 hours, and then they try to win those bids. So when someone abandons a shopping cart, the best time to hit them is probably within the next couple of days, right? Put the ad out in front, so you might have to spend a little bit more money getting in front of those people, but they're a lot hotter market, right? They're a lot harder target right there. So here's just a little quick example of a statistic, or static rather, versus personalized, right? So click-through rates are what they are on the internet. So here's an example on the left-hand side. There are 0.06%, no engagement, no conversion rate. But then we start showing a more personalized one. Look at that click-through rate jumped up 8 times, right? And then you got some more engagement rate, and then obviously the conversions follow that. So I know my wife, for example, gets followed around by Zappos and clothes and shoes all the time, and she goes back and buys those, right? But that's an example of dynamic retargeting, which we are putting the finishing touches on those through our HTML5 banners, and you guys will get access to those as soon as they are ready.
All right, so maybe what we can do is just spend just a couple minutes and go through the training system, because there's been some questions and there's a lot of interest in the past about, hey, what is this training? Including all the people who were in our beta, our startup beta program. None of these people have access to this training, and so you guys will have the first look at it. So maybe what we can do is just do a quick overview. It'll be less than 5 minutes to go through this real quick, and to go through and show you exactly what we've put together for you, because there's a lot of things about sales and about the processes that you just kind of need to know before you go out there and put your get in front of your audience, your potential clients. And so let's take a second and go through this, and so you can see exactly how you can go through this training process and make that happen.
Hey, Chris, I think your mic went out. Are you on mute?
I think I was on mute. Thank you for that. Yep.
All right, gotcha.
All right, cool. Thank you. So basically, let me get set up here. But what we want to do, I hope that was helpful to kind of see what the training is all about. We spent a lot of time in putting that together, and we were actually interviewing some pretty spectacular people that you guys will get access to. People who are spending, like I said, 120,000 a day on display ads, and they started where we are. I mean, they're SEO people, and they just started to pick it up, and they grew their business into something like truly amazing. And people who do marketing for YouTube, actually, they're the people that YouTube go to, and they pay to do their display advertising, as well as Adobe and some others that will be very interesting for you to see. So with that, one thing that we promised you was to show you exactly how to do the URL research. And this is something that no matter what, if you're going to do any display advertising, you're going to need to know which websites are going to be the most profitable for you to put your ads on. So what I wanted to do here is just take a couple of minutes, this won't take long, and show you exactly how this is going to happen. And then we have a special gift right after this that we're going to give you for free. So let's go ahead and do the URL a demo rather on the URL research, and take a look at how that works. All right. Todd, can you hear me? Make sure it's unmuted.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So basically right here, let me jump into here again so I can show you a link that we want to give you. So basically, here's the fourth gift that we want to give you guys. Now, I know that I went through that pretty quickly, but what I've done is I went through that same presentation and I took out screenshots of all the different steps, and I created a step-by-step process on how to do this research, because this is definitely something, if you're in this market at all, this is something that you're going to be very interested in, to find out all the different sites that are contextually relevant and that Google is basically saying that people go to when they type in those certain keywords. So go ahead and type in this right here, which is research-gift. In fact, let's just put it in the chat right here, so you guys can all just click it and download it. Let's see here. I don't think that went through.
I think it got mixed up in one of your other comments.
There we go. Okay, so basically, yep, that's working. All right, very good. So we wanted to give this to you, and honestly, we haven't told really anybody about this research that we've been doing. So this is the first time that we've ever talked about this publicly. So we wanted to make sure that you guys had this research capability, because when you start jumping into the system and using this, that you can be super effective and profitable for yourselves and your company when you do this. So let's jump back in here. Presentation. Now let's talk about how we can give you guys exclusive access. I know that we've had a lot of people on here that say, okay, how do I get in? That kind of thing. So let's talk about that real quick, because what we've done is we put a special promotion together. We've been talking about this for a long time, Todd and I, about how we can let people in to be able to use the system, because it is extremely powerful. It's fun to use, and it's super profitable as an agency. And so basically what we're going to give you guys today is full access to the training system. We're going to give you all future training. I mean, we have I think 15 videos stacked up that we're going to be doing in the next week or two. We have exclusive interviews with just high profile people that add a lot of benefit and a lot of insight into how the actual industry works on big levels and on the micro levels for local marketing, things like that. So you'll have access to all those interviews. You're going to have access to Traffic Oxygen and all future updates for free. And we're constantly working on this and adding new technologies and new processes, things like that. We're going to give you guys access to the landing page creator so that you can use it unlimited. You can create as many landing pages as you would like, and you don't have to wait on developers and third-party places. You can just go in there and just create it on your own. There's no waiting. You just go do it yourself, and then you can save those off and tweak them as necessary, kind of a thing. So you're going to have full access to that. You're also going to get access to weekly webinars where we're going to be talking about new tactics and strategies, sales techniques. As we go out and we talk with, say, you guys, we get your permission first. But if you guys come up with a great sales strategy and you say, hey, yeah, I don't mind if you share it with everyone else, we're going to be online telling you how things are working with everyone else. And we're also going to show you how to, we're making updates in the system and cool new features and stuff like that. Not only that, but you're going to have access to Todd and I for your personal sales. This is something that we've done with all of our beta testers. And basically, we make ourselves available when you go into a sales call. As long as you schedule it a couple of days in advance, we'll make ourselves available so we can tag any questions. If you're not completely comfortable with their process, or you think that they're going to ask you questions you don't know, have us on the line. We're going to be basically your project manager that does this type of work. That's the role that we'll play. And we can answer any questions, and we can help you close that sale for you. Who does that, right? Well, Todd and I do that, and we're going to do that for you. We're going to give you all of our resources. We're going to give you our contracts. We're going to give you the presentations. We're going to give you these landing pages. I don't know if you noticed, but on the very front page of the landing page creator, there's a download link to the RTB and retargeting landing page that we created, so you can put it on your website and be up and running in about 10 minutes. So all you have to do is just replace your phone number with the phone number that's in there, put your email address in there, so when they fill out the form, it goes to you, and you're kind of done. So it's kind of a pre-built landing page that's ready to go. We're going to give you all of this stuff. Not only that, but we're going to provide you with done-for-you tools, because a lot of you out there, and this is actually the smartest way to do this business, is just let us do the busy work for you. go out there and sell, throw it over the fence, and our fulfillment team will take it and they'll set up the projects properly. They'll manage that. They'll manage it. They'll create all the reports. They'll do everything necessary for the project and make you look like a hero. And it doesn't cost a lot. I think I think we kind of gauged it. It's less than PPC for management. And we definitely price everything in our system so that you can resell it and make a good profit on it. So all of our margins are super thin all the way across the board. So
hey Chris, one thing I also want to mention on the Done For You tools is some people on this webinar here are brand new and they don't have the other services. You want to speak to that for a moment?
Yeah, good point. We actually built out our system so that it's kind of a one-stop shop for basically everything marketing. If you want to do local marketing and you want to do SEO, you need a website built, you need a press release, all those different kind of things, we'll do those for you. So you can just kind of like pick those off and get them done very easily. We have a great fulfillment team. We have a great communication platform where we can, when you order something, you have a place where you can go in there and communicate with your project manager who's working on it, stuff like that. I mean, this is, of course, Traffic Oxygen is the sister to Local Oxygen, which is a management tool that we use to fulfill all this stuff. And so there's a lot of great Done For You services in there so that you don't, it's basically you don't have to go anywhere else. You can just stay here and you can get everything done for your companies. Now, in addition to that, you're going to be able to get mobile RTB and retargeting when this is released. That's actually kind of lower on our list because we're working on the HTML5 dynamic ads for the e-commerce right now, as well as the video RTB and retargeting. So we can get those implemented. And you guys can, in fact, everything right here is available right now through the Done For You services, but we're going to make these available through the software in a very short period of time. Some of these are already almost done, and we're just getting ready to complete the testing and release those. So all these things are going to be available, and everything is going to be available for you for a one-time cost of $497 and $97. So basically, let me see here. We're going to, let's load this up here. Okay, if you look on your pop-up on the right side, we made a link available right there where this is exclusive beta access. Now, what that means is that you guys are the first people that we're letting in the system other than the testers. So you guys are going to get all the professional training, unlimited use of the software, weekly training, wholesale data pricing so that you can mark it up. There's plenty of markup in here. Our margins are extremely thin. We do that on purpose so that you can make the money on it. And basically, it's a volume play on our side. If you guys don't use it, we don't make money. And we have to push a lot of volume. So that is a link right there on the right side of your screen there where you can jump in there and get exclusive access right now. Now, just to let you know, and if you guys have followed us on Local Oxygen or any of our other products, stuff like that, you know that we're not kidding when we say we're going to double this, because we are going to double this. So we want to get you guys in here and we're going to grandfather you in. And the way that this is going to work is that there's no long-term contracts. It's just one-time $497. And it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. There's no risk. So you can jump in here. If it's not for you, cool. There's no problem with that at all. You can just jump right back out again. And then moving forward, it's $97 a month. And that pays for unlimited access to the program. It pays for all the training, any of the new resources that we have to develop. It pays for the interviews. It pays for all of the different stuff that happens. I mean, our costs on the back end for the demand side platform are substantial. And so this is kind of like a crowdfunding process where we all kind of pitch in together so we can get wholesale pricing. So this is a pretty low cost when you put everything together, and you get all the training as well. So you're going to lock this in for life as well. So this pricing will not go up for you guys. So new people coming in after this, once this deal closes, we're going to leave this open. We're going to leave the card open until the 28th of this month. When the 28th comes around at nighttime, this deal's over, and we're going to be doubling the price. So basically, if you want to jump in here at this time, jump in for a low cost. Now would be the time. And not only that, let's sweeten the deal a little bit. Remember that landing page creator? Well, we have 25 pre-built landing page templates for different vertical markets that you can jump into and have pre-built for you. So all you have to do is, with a couple of clicks, you can load them up. Then you basically just update a couple of items in there and you're ready to go for that vertical market. So it cuts to the chase. It makes it so it's super, super easy. We're going to give you all of these for free today if you sign up. So that's one way that we can kind of sweeten the deal a little bit. And if you kind of break it down, that $97 a month, if you get one client in there and that one client pays you $150 a month for the retargeting, you've already paid for the entire program for the whole month. So one client will pay for the entire system for the whole month, and everything else on top of that is gravy for you. So we've tried to price this so that it's super easy to sell, it's super easy to manage, and it's not overly expensive to be able to keep and manage on a month-to-month basis. And so let's see here. So basically what we're going to do, and one thing that we learned when we brought in our first group of beta testers is that when we were developing and bringing people on, we found out that we couldn't support them very well because we were distracted. And so one lesson that we learned is that we can't let you guys in the system and be able to support you and run this launch at the same time. So over the next 5 days or so, or 7 days rather, we need to focus on the launch. We have lots of people that we need help, lots of questions. We have lots of phone calls. Feel free to reach out to our support staff. You can reach out to us at help@trafficoxygen.com. And we want to talk with you guys, make sure that this is a right fit and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as all the busyness is over with the launch and with answering questions and getting you guys in, we're going to let everybody into the software on October 29th. And we're going to have a special webinar at that time where we're all going to get connected to our Google Tag Manager. We're going to take you around the system and show you how to get set up with your first retargeting group and your first client, that kind of a thing, so that you have a good experience coming in for the first time rather than jumping in and stumbling around and not being able to understand what's happening. And then at that point, we're going to be completely available to you guys for support, answering questions, helping you with your projects, all that kind of thing. And so basically, just to kind of review, what you guys are going to get today is you guys are going to get full access to the training system with the interviews. You're going to get access to all the future training. You're going to get access to the just tons of training that we have in there on sales, on retargeting, on RTB, on how to use the system, all those things that are in there. Like you saw in the demo that we had earlier, you're going to have access to Traffic Oxygen on October 29th, and you're going to have all the future updates for free. So when we bring in the mobile marketing and you want to do that yourself, you'll have first access to that. You'll never have to pay for any of these updates. It'll just come in. You'll be able to see how to use it through a quick webinar, and you're off to the races. Also, you guys are going to get the landing page creator. You guys will have instant access to that. You don't have to wait. We're going to give that to you immediately so you can start building your landing pages and customizing those. Again, you have unlimited use of that. We're going to start weekly webinars starting this coming week. And you're going to have access to Todd and I if you guys ever need help landing a sale, especially with the whales. If you guys go out there and talk with a larger client or somebody who has a franchise or many locations, we can jump in there and we can help you with those sales. We're working with several people right now, and it's super exciting to be able to go in there and see you guys go in there with confidence, knowing that we've got your back. And we're happy to do that for you. And then you also get all the resources as far as like the contracts, presentations, landing pages, everything that goes along with that, as well as all the done for you tools that we prepared for you guys. You guys are going to get first access to the mobile RTB, the HTML5 dynamic ads, which cover all the e-commerce stuff, and the video RTB and retargeting. And again, with a special bonus of the 25 pre-built landing page templates that you're going to get immediately when you guys sign up, so that you can go in there and you can start playing with that and be able to build out those landing pages super quickly, super easily, and you don't have to depend on companies that are, they charge somewhere between $350 and $800 for a landing page. How would you like to put that back in your pocket? So you can do that now with this the pre-built landing page templates that we're going to provide to you. So, and I know that you guys can kind of hear from our voice. We're not not big marketers. We're mostly tech guys, right? We find great technology. We write, software around it that makes it easy, makes it accessible. We're conscious because we are marketers from the internet perspective, where we go out and we provide marketing services to companies. So we're very sensitive to price points. We're sensitive to making sure that your agencies are very successful, that there's plenty of meat on the bone for markup. And so that when you're marking it up on for your client, that there's still a lot of benefit, and that there's plenty of value added to even your markup. And so there's a whole lot of things that come into play here to have a great package and to have a comprehensive process to doing RTB and retargeting. And so that is it. So go out and create a storm in your business with real-time bidding, and especially retargeting. So Todd, do you have any anything that you wanted to cover here at the end? Is there any questions that we should probably tag?
A couple of questions. I'm trying to type very fast and do that. People are worried, wondering about markup and all these other things. Listen, we try to keep the markup as low as possible, like Chris mentioned, to give you guys enough meat on the bone. When I first started in RTB, I was having to sell it at $7 to $10 CPM. So that's cost per 1,000 impressions, just to make money. I can tell you right now that you can sell it way cheaper than that, right? We have campaigns that are running that are sub-dollar CPMs, right? It all depends on how you were selling it. We educate everybody inside of our system that you sell it ad spend plus management fee, right? So then the ad spend is all off to the client, right? So if they're using another platform that's geared towards business owners, they're going to pay a higher CPM, right? But I at least personally changed my model around when I sell it. I do more like how Google says you should sell PPC. Show them what they're spending on ad spend, and then take a management fee on top of that.
That's correct. Yeah, one of our DSPs there, we were talking with them, and we don't see this from the back end because they deal with all the data and the buying and stuff like that. But they mentioned that from their perspective, that when they buy, that they see other platforms out there marking it up as much as, what was it, like 400 to 600% on their side,
right?
And you will not see that on our side. We have priced this so that you guys can get in and have like just bottom rate prices on your data, so that you can have a wider reach and you can mark it up on your side and have what we term Google style profits.
Terry asked about a done for you service. Yeah, we discussed that in here. We actually have a small training on that, which we can, a demo on that maybe we'll show in the replay, so people can see what that is. But yeah, we do done for you services for people who just want to sell. That's actually how Chris and I actually met, because I was helping some people that he knows that we were in a mastermind together, and I was doing their fulfillment for them because they are just salespeople, right? And we get it. Some people are tech people, some people are cross between, and some people are salespeople. True salespeople don't want to do fulfillment. So we're ramping up a team as we get more and more projects in, which we are doing a lot of them already. And we're going to ramp up our team as much as it takes to fulfill all the done for you services.
All right, there's another good question in here too. It says, so how are you different from the big players that talk RTB like Yahoo? And I think we can probably best answer that with just talking in general about best known practices with RTB. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that, Google has DoubleClick as their RTB platform. They bought them, and that's who they use. And it's a decent service. I mean, there's nothing wrong with DoubleClick other than the fact that they're only 20% of the internet market. Now, in the display ad market, Google is not a dominating force, which is kind of interesting because they dominate pretty much everything else, right? So with that being said, if you're going with Google for your RTB and your retargeting, well, you're hitting a good 20% of that market. Good luck with that. So what you need to be cognizant of is that you need to go with a provider who covers all the major networks like we do. We have a bunch of networks that we cover. So Google is one of them, but it's only 20% of our entire reach. And so it's good in a couple of ways, because it keeps Google in check so that they can't overrun the market and overcharge for what they have. And also it provides access to niche markets that wouldn't be accessible through Google. And so a lot of the time, our clients work in niche markets, and it's important for them to be able to reach out to websites that are also in those niche markets. And so it's important to be able to reach out, and you can learn more in our training about all the ad networks that we work with. We're very open about who we work with, all the biggest players for sure. Okay, let's some other questions here.
There's a couple people saying they want to sleep on it. Totally get it, totally understand it. Just like Chris said, we're not high pressure salespeople. That's why we're leaving the card open for 7 days. Think about it, discuss it.
Yep, it's not for everybody. So if you don't think it's for you, that's okay. We're okay with that. But for any of you guys who want to jump in and do retargeting at wholesale costs, that you want to be able to take advantage of our training, our software, and our support, we're happy to have you guys in. And when the cart closes on the 28th, we're shutting everything down so that we can focus on the people who jumped in. At that point, we're all yours, basically. We're going to be supporting the people who jumped on. We're going to be helping you with onboarding your clients, with anything that you guys need. We're going to be totally dedicated to you guys. So if this is something that you think that would be helpful, awesome. We think it is in our business. We've completely changed our agency model, and we brought all of our clients into, first of all, retargeting. It's a no-brainer. I mean, everybody should be doing retargeting without question. RTB, we've been bringing all of our clients on as well. And without exception in my agency, everybody that we've done RTB with, we have beat the PPC price. So it's something that we can add a lot of value in and provide something that's kind of new and different for our agencies. For our businesses to hear. So like when we talk to them, it's kind of refreshing to be able to talk about, or to be excited to talk about something that's new. And we can say, hey, we're going to try this new technology. We're going to test it. And if it works, we're going to do a lot more of it. And if not, we're going to go back to PPC kind of a thing. And so when we do this, then like you can see with Rick, who mentioned earlier, when he did this with his clients, he basically, their clients tripled their ad spend in the first 3 months. It's because they see the value when it hits. So it's pretty exciting. All right.
A couple other ones. There was a question here that was way in the beginning, and then someone else just asked it now. How do you prevent click fraud, robots versus humans? I can tell you right now that there's a very hot topic, just like it is in PPC. But the good thing is we don't pay for clicks, right? You're paying for impressions. So now it comes down to how do you prevent impressions to real people versus bots, right? Bots are a thing of the web, right? They're out there. Some of them are good, gathering intel for platforms that we use and other people use, and some of them are malicious. So really, the answer to that is all of these DSPs, both on the supply side and the demand side, it is a high priority, right? So they constantly are changing it, just like with spam with email. They change something, and then the spammers figure out a way around it, and then they changed again. So it's a constant battle that's going on there. But the good news is you don't pay for clicks, right? So where I have some clients that are worried about click fraud on pay-per-click where they're spending $30 a click, I'm like, okay, well, you got some impressions, but you're actually paying like 0.0002 cents or something for that impression. It's not as big of a concern.
That is a good point. All right.
Let's see. Someone's asking, is there a Facebook group or something? Just if you have questions, just go ahead and email us at help@trafficoxygen.com. We're going to be busy with a lot of people, so we did.
One thing that we might want to do, Todd, is throw our support line on the order page too, so they can jump on there. Maybe we'll do that tonight sometime.
Okay.
So if you guys are on the order page, you can just chat with us live, kind of a thing, if you have any questions. All right. So it's been a while.
Looking for the link to buy. Elizabeth's asking. It should be still on the right-hand side.
Yep. It's on the right-hand side there. You'll see it says exclusive beta access, and there's an orange button rather right below it. You should be able to see that right there. And there was actually a request in here. It says, hey, I got to take off. How am I going to find this buy link if I want to do this, say, tomorrow? What we'll do is that brings up a good point, because I think a lot of you guys are in the same boat. You guys are going to need to think about this a little bit, which is cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to send out a replay link as soon as this is over, and we're also going to send out in that same email with the replay link is a buy link, so you don't have to search around for it. You can just have it right there in that email, so you don't have to search around. So we'll put that in there as well. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that suggestion.
Yeah.
All right.
It seems like the questions are dying down. We've been at this for a while. We do appreciate you guys staying in there. We just had a lot of questions for people contacting us. They found our support email and asking what does the software look like. That's why we wanted to spend a little bit of time going through the software, because we know when people are buying stuff, you're buying not only the training and the weekly webinars and things, but you're also buying that software. So we wanted to kind of give a little bit of demo on that.
All right. So Ernst actually asked a really good question here too. Do you recommend clients buy more paid traffic to get pixels set up faster? And the answer is absolutely yes. We talked about that a little bit with Ryan Deiss. They're out there buying traffic just to get them pixeled. And if Ryan Deiss is doing it because he sees the value in it, I would pay real close attention to what he's doing, because this guy is on the cutting edge. He does stuff that works like super good. We've been in his office and talked to him extensively about what he does, and he's very sophisticated, and he is unequivocally, I can't even say that word, but basically he's without doubt doing this right now. So we would highly recommend building up that retargeting audience and using RTB to drive that top of the funnel, and then the retargeting. Let me back up. Use RTB to drive the top of the funnel to get a lot of people in, and then use retargeting to keep them in the system and to drive them towards a buying decision. It's a 1-2 punch, basically. John was asking if it takes 3 or 4 months or more to get enough traffic during the foot in the door to use the campaign. How much is enough traffic to pixel or to traffic to the pixel? So I think what you're asking there is, how long should you wait until you start a campaign? So Todd, what do you think is a good number in a retargeting group to start a retargeting campaign?
Yeah, I have both, and I think I answered that question, but I'll answer it so everybody can hear it in case I didn't see it flying through there. I have done both. I retargeted immediately for some people. It's just more expensive. So you got to think about your bucket of people. If you have 10 people in your retargeting list, everybody else is also bidding for them, right? And I'm not just saying they're bidding there for them on retargeting. Remember, it's the same platform as RTB. So let's just pick high net worth, right? If you have a high net worth individual, you can bet that every high net worth business is also trying to target that specific person. So that the chances of you winning that bid, unless you pay a lot, go down, right? So the more people you have, the lower you can bid. That's the theory, right? You have 50,000 people or 100,000 people on your retargeting list, you can bid lower because you don't have to win 100,000 times. If you have 10 people and you don't win any all day, you have 0 impressions. So I do both. Sometimes I do retargeting right away, but I typically do something that we talk about in our training, which is what I call retargeting plus, which is I set up a retargeting campaign for the client, and then I supplement it with a very low bottom feeding geo RTB to pick up some of those cheap first clicks, right? And then as that starts to level out, then there's more people on the list, right? That's usually typically for people with very low traffic. But then a number of like 500 is a perfect way to go. Remember, you want the cost of that first click to be cheap. So you don't want the cost to be $5, $6, $7, $10 CPM, right? Because that's just it's getting too high. You want it to be down in that $2 to $3 to $4 CPM.
All right. Well, it's getting late. You guys have been with us for like a couple hours now, and we really appreciate your time spending this with you. We hope that we've added some value. We've given you guys some good, valuable, free gifts along the way, giving you some things that you can really take away and use in your own businesses right out of the chute, whether you join us or not. We would love you guys to come and join with us, to be able to jump into this storm with us, to be able to see some of the successes we've had. During our next couple of webinars, we're going to be talking about even more case studies that we've been able to do, how we did it, so that you guys can go out there and repeat this in your businesses. And again, we're going to go ahead and send out a replay link as well as a buy link in the same, so that you can jump in here and you can review these different sections that were interesting to you, to be able to get these free gifts that we offered in case you weren't able to get them along the way. And so with that, I think the last thing is just once again, if you want to talk to us, reach out on help@trafficoxygen.com, and we'll be happy to reach out to you. We'll even call you if you don't want to chat about it, that kind of a thing. I'm happy to talk to you about your agencies and how we can help you help you there as well. So thank you, Todd, for joining me on this, and thank all of you for your time. We know that it's precious, and you spent a considerable amount of time with us, and we don't take that lightly. And that's why we want to give you some really good stuff in return. So anyway, let's go ahead and close this up and look for the replay. It should be available immediately right after we finish right here, but we'll send out a link here in just the next little bit to make sure that you have that as well. Thanks, everyone, and great questions, and we will see you on the flip side.